So this is our discussion for the second best exotic Marigold hotel. If you saw our review, we recommended it, we enjoyed it, and here we are to talk about more details and potential plot spoilers and that sort of thing. So if you're going to see the movie, now's your chance to turn the video off and go see it. Having said that, yeah, it's great ensemble cast. All the performances are great. All the characters are great. It's, you know, it's one of those movies that you can take your parents to, take your kids to. Everybody will have a good time with it. It doesn't get too adult, or it doesn't really pander to one specific audience. And I felt like the way that it, like the first one, having the younger character, Dev Patel's character,
that really Sonny, balances things out, doesn't it? From the older cast.
Yes.
It focuses on the young couple. They get a lot of screen time.
Yeah. I think that really works in its favor. As far as like spoilery stuff to talk about, you know, when we saw the test screening, my thought was that they were concerned with, and maybe there was an earlier version of it where Maggie Smith dies at the end, because they were really strongly hinting at that for the last like 15 minutes or so, that she was dying. Something I caught this time that I didn't catch the first time was that she went to the doctor.
Came out really worried.
And didn't tell anybody what had happened. Like, she just brushed it off and kept going. So I'm wondering if that is something that they decided not to do, or they veered away at the last minute. Because the way it's put into the movie is really bizarre, in that she's at the reception for a second, and then she's gone again, and he rides the motorcycle back, finds her in bed, thinks that she's dead, she talks to him, he leaves again, which is a really strange way to like have that conversation play out and take place. And then, you know, she's still there at the end of the movie, and she says thank you to the server that works there. The server is a more prominent in the first movie. She and Maggie Smith have like a friendship and a bond that they actually have a whole arc together of a relationship. And you get the sense that like maybe the server just brought her like a cup of hemlock or something, like she's helping her like commit suicide or something.
Yeah, it was very strange because she says thank you to her, and the waitress, you know, the server in the first one, she's among the untouchables, you know, she's low caste.
Right.
And so she's very nervous and won't make eye contact with anybody. But by the end of the first one and the second one, she's kind of viewed as an equal by at the very least Maggie Smith's character. And that last conversation, she seemed very uncomfortable, and kind of looked down and away.
Yeah, and that's why I wonder if that was what they were testing about, or if there was something else going on there. But, you know, as the movie stands, I think it ends fine, and I think it works with the story that they were telling. It's also something where, you know, if they decide to go ahead and make a third movie or something like that, they have room to bring Maggie Smith back if they want to.
If I remember correctly, in the screening that we saw, I thought she actually talked to the doctor a little bit. You saw a little bit of their conversation. I don't think you did in this one.
Oh, you might be right.
Because I remember her asking the doctor if he was sure. And it was very, very foreboding, and she comes out and
yeah, you might be right about
staggering.
That.
In this one, you know they're at the doctor, and she comes out and she's very shaken.
So that's the thing. I mean, I think if anything, they softened that so that it stays light.
Because how to make it work with the rest of the movie.
Exactly.
Know? At one point, I thought, you know, if it was going to be on his wedding night, like, wow, that would ruin the whole thing, and that doesn't go with the flow of the whole movie. And then they didn't do that. And they didn't even show you her dying, which was kind of like in sync with the whole optimistic vibe of the movie. You know, new beginnings, not old endings.
I completely agree. Like, if they were going to kill that character, it needed to happen earlier in the movie. You know, it needed to happen definitely before the wedding, for sure. And probably before, you know, or shortly after he figured out the whole thing with the Viceroy and that whole part of it. But yeah, and the only other thing was Penelope Wilton's character returning, which to me, I mean, watching it again, it's like it made complete sense to me that they brought her back. It needed to happen for Bill Nighy's character not to be cheating on her, and for you to feel like, you know, she has that one conversation with Judi Dench at the end that sort of explains her character, where she's finally honest with Judi Dench about what her situation is, and you know that.
I don't know. See, I felt like they could have just been like, in between the first and second movie, they got a divorce, and that would have been fine. With that being said,
well, they wanted. I mean, I'm sure they wanted to bring the actress.
They
back.
wanted to bring her back. Yeah. With that being said, she does such an amazing job at being this evil hag that you cringe when she comes on screen, and, she is amazing at it.
But she's like the exact opposite of her character on Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Like on Downton Abbey, she has a backbone, but like you have to press her against the wall to get the backbone to come out.
Yeah.
And in this, she's just like the Ice Queen.
Yeah, like she is.
Slit your throat with a smile on her face.
There is literally no one in the movie that likes her. Not even her daughter.
Yeah, her daughter just tolerates her.
Yeah, it's.
But I think that conversation with Judi Dench, it's like she's honest about it. Like she doesn't like herself. You know, she's putting on this front to get through the day, and she makes everybody else miserable because she's miserable.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny for me to see Judi Dench in something that's a lot softer than like M from James Bond, because that's mostly these days what I see her in. And,
yeah.
You know.
I also felt like the Judi Dench Bill Nighy relationship in this movie is like, I think we put up with it because it's them. I think if it would have been not as well known of actors, or not as good of actors, or even if it was like, if that was the plot they gave to a younger couple in the movie, it would have been so cheesy and stupid. Like, blow your brains out, stop it. Like, just be together for.
Yeah, right.
A younger couple would not have worked. I don't think that. I don't think the actors were so much important as the fact that it was an older couple. A younger couple, that would have been infuriating. An older couple, you kind of understand.
Yeah.
But with that being said, the cast was fantastic.
Yeah, everyone.
You couldn't ask for a better cast. They all deliver.
Yeah. They really do. Yeah, and Richard Gere was good. I mean, I think he was the only new real cast member. There was that Lavinia character.
Yeah,
that was really cool. The whole role they gave him too.
I don't know if they did that just to throw a wrench, or if they wanted to introduce a new younger character.
Oh, she was a red herring. Yeah, that's all her character was there for. But I liked that they introduced Richard Gere, and I liked that he ended up, you know, starting a relationship with the mother.
The real funny red herring thing was, like, you know, you're thinking like, is he the hotel inspector? But it turns out they both are.
Yeah,
which was a bit of a
double
surprise.
Switch.
Yeah.
Right.
That was cool.
Yeah, you know, I remember when we watched the screening, I was like, he's not the inspector, she is. And then they both ended up being the inspector. I was like, oh, God, who didn't see that? Who saw that coming? But it's just such a fun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the first one, I think, had a little bit more emotional punch to it because of, you know, specifically Tom Wilkinson's story arc.
Oh, he was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Which I won't spoil what happens with him.
Okay,
but
yeah,
that's
because I want to see the first one now.
that's a really good story.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The first one does have a lot more emotion to it. This one, it was like they were making it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a much more fun movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's the discussion. Hope you enjoyed this. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews over at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.